if I was to draw this, curve, okay, for argument's sake, you don't know the shape of it, okay? So I'm just going to draw a random curve somewhere. It's probably in completely the wrong position, and it's probably completely the wrong curve. That's okay. But the idea is that see this point here, 1/2 and 5/2. The point is that this point is actually on this curve. Is everybody with me so far? The curve is the yellow part. The point that's on the curve is written beside it. And what you're asked to do is just find the slope of the tangent. Now, what did we all agree about differentiation? How do we get the slope? First derivative. Now, is everybody able to get the first derivative of x plus x to the minus 1? What do we get there, Daily? Differentiate 1x, you get? Differentiate x minus 1. Minus 1x to the power minus 2. Awesome. What x value do you have to use? Yeah. So what you do, just replace it with 1/2. Into the calculator it goes. And therefore you now have your slope of your graph. Okay, is that alright, everybody? I think the answer is going to be, actually I don't know. Can't do that in my head. Somebody? No? Gaffer can help me. -3 is the answer. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that because this tangent is on a downward trajectory, isn't it? So -3. Alright. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to find the y value. So currently we have y minus blank equals blank into x minus 1. That's all we have. So I'm going to put in y equals 1 cubed plus 1 over 2 times 1 squared. 1 plus 1/2. Did everybody get 3/2? Yeah, for y1. So y1 is 3/2. My next step is to find the slope. So y equals x to the minus 3 plus 1/2 x to the minus 2. I'm going to differentiate that. So I'm going to get -3 x to the minus 4. I'm going to multiply 1/2 by -2 to get -1. And then everywhere I see x, I'm going to replace it with 1. And what should happen is I'll get -3 minus 1, which is -4. And we get slope of -4. What? What is x? Oh, sorry, x to the power -5. So what's x to the power -3? Oh, sorry. That makes sense. Whoop. That didn't happen. Yeah. That. So what's the answer then? 2, is it? You got a slope of 2. Ah. Am I wrong again, or are you just behind me? I think I'm good. Oliver, help. Alright, let's try this again. 3x squared is correct. 1/2 x to the minus 2. See the 1 over x2? I brought that up and made x to the minus 2. Then I multiplied -2 by 1/2, which is -1. Took it away. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that, I'm being honest. And then what do we get at the end here? Y minus 3/2 equals 2x minus 2. Multiply everything by 2. 2y minus 3 equals 4x minus 4. Solution is 4x minus 2y minus 1 equals 0. So differentiate once. If you're trying to picture what's happening here, this is a U-shaped curve. Would you agree with that? U-shaped curve of some variety. And then at some point, it's going to have a positive slope of 5. Would you agree with that? It has a negative slope, no slope at the bottom. And then eventually it's going to end up with a slope of 5 somewhere in its path. Our job is to find out what point is this. So we do the first derivative, which is 2x plus 3. Then we say the answer is 5. This implies that x will be equal to 1. So we already know that 1 is the x coordinates. Now all we have to do is find the y coordinate. So we go y equals 1 squared plus 3 times 1, take away 1, and the answer is 1. Okay, everybody cool? Alright. Now, for those of you who, you've drawn these functions before, okay? This is a cubic function, which means it has 2 turning points. Now, I can never remember if it's that one or this one. I usually just throw it into the table function on my calculator to figure out which one's which. Okay? Now, with all that in mind, there's 2 points at which the slope is 0. Where is the slope 0? There and there. The slope will be 0 at the maximum and minimum points. So notice there's 2 x values and 2 y values we're going to have to get here, isn't there? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the first derivative. What happens when you do the first derivative? You get 3x squared minus 12. You know the slope is equal to 0. Divide both sides by 3, you get this. And then finally do x plus 2 and x minus 2. What are the 2 x values we have? Plus 2 and minus 2. Now this will imply that the y-axis is over here. You get what I'm saying? Now what's the only thing I have left to do now? Find the 2 y values. The 2 y values are replace x with the x value you're going to use, and then calculate the 2 y values using your calculator. So what you get? Minus 8 plus 24 plus 4. I got minus 220, which appears to be the maximum, we would hope. And the other one is 2 minus 12. Actually, my diagram was pretty accurate in the end. I'm pretty happy with it. Minus 220, and the other one is 2 minus 12. Sure, look, I guessed the right way around, to be honest. You just use your table function, your calculator, to get a rough sketch if you really want. Everybody cool with that? Any bother? I think we're good so far. I think it's easy stuff. Okay. Alright, 11. Off you go. Alrighty. ydx equals 2ax. B disappears. Okay. Replace x with 2. You get 4a. And 4a has to equal 3. Implies that a equals 3 over 4. Now, there's another trick we can do now. What can I change the formula to? Y equals what? 3/4 x squared plus b. When I use x as my input, what's the output or the y value? Exactly. Replace y with minus 2, because that's the answer when you use x equals 2. And what you're going to get is minus 2 equals 3 plus b. This implies that b equals minus 5. Implies the formula we have is y equals 3/4 x squared minus 5. Now, how would you check your answer really quickly? Yeah. So, right. The answer is, first of all, the graph is y equals minus x squared plus 125. Everybody agreed with that? Would everybody agree that the stone hits the water at the blue point here? Good so far? What do we know about that blue point? Something minus 500. Okay? So what can I do with the y value? Replace it with minus 500. And then we're going to cross multiply and figure out what the x value is. So 125 times 500 is 62,500. So 62,500 equals x squared. I think if you square root that, you get 250. You do get 250. Now, how far out to sea were you before you hit the water? 250 meters to the right and 500 meters down. Everybody cool with that? Now, if tan theta is the slope of the curve at this point, find the angle at which the stone enters the water. Alright, here's the part where I need you guys to understand this, right? The angle it hits, the applied maths guys better know this. Alright? So, it comes down at a certain angle. Okay, so for argument's sake, if I said that the stone was traveling, 7 to the right, if I said the stone was traveling 7 meters to the right and traveling 10 meters down, okay, what would be this angle theta? Anybody tell me? What would tan theta be? Tan theta would be 10 over 7. Okay? So tan theta is the slope, and tan theta would be 10 over 7. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to differentiate the formula at the point x equals 250. So differentiate it, sub in x equals 250, and you should get a negative slope because it's about to hit the water. Up you go. For those of you that don't remember, okay, when you have tan of an angle, so for instance, if you have a tan is opposite over adjacent, everybody cool with that? So slope of a graph, if I said we have a slope of 4/5, that means 5 across and 4 up. Would you agree with that? Slope is actually exactly the same as tan x. Would everybody else agree with that? Because tan x is also 4 over 5. So in this question, the first derivative is pretty much the same as the slope. So when we differentiate this, what do we get? 1 over 125 multiplied by minus 2x, isn't it? Because when you differentiate x squared, you get minus 2x. I also forgot about the minus on the outside. Now, what happens when we sub in x equals 250? What will we get then? We get minus 1 times minus 500, which is 500 over 125, which is a slope of, anybody? Sorry, my fault. I double counted the negative. I made a mistake there. I double counted the negative. How did I know it had to be a negative slope? It's on its way down, isn't it? So, tan theta is equal to minus 4. Now, what minus 4 means is 4 down and 1 across. Everybody cool with that? Just tan inverse it without the negative, and you'll find out what is your angle. Tan inverse 4 divided by 1. I'm getting an angle of 76 degrees to the nearest degree. Anybody else get 75.96? Carl?